Like whenever I get ready to do the GY show, I like to be like, "Are we rolling? Are we rolling?" Hey, what's up, everybody? Kevin Fair here, and I want to tell you about a really amazing project that a friend of mine approached me about. I'm actually going to pop him up now. Michael Brewer, who has been a really good friend of mine for some time now, also runs a podcast that he does, and also is doing a web series now called We Game On. And the series itself is supposed to be fan testimonials that people put together, personal friends of his, that talk about the positivity that video games have brought in their life. And one of the things that I think is really kind of cool about that is that, once again, you see a ton of stuff in the media that talks about video games in a negative light, but they never really focus on how you can gain a certain level of personal development from it. So I'm going to give my story, but just as importantly, what I'm going to do in conjunction with this project, Michael has posted a video up. I'll have the link down in the description, and we are going to actually have some of the video testimonials shot this weekend at our Extra Life event on November 7th, going on throughout the day. We'll be probably starting taking, some video footage and testimonials at like 4 p.m. So like that's the really big announcement. And so I'm going to give my I guess my experience and how video games have kind of changed my life as a portion or as a part of the hashtag We Game On series. And so I guess my story kind of starts off the same as anybody else's, as a kid that grew up in the 90s, born in the mid 80s to late 80s. And, dude, I love playing video games. We went to our cousin's house where our grandmother lived, and basically always played his Super Nintendo, his Sega Genesis, his Nintendo 64. And that was really a way that between and then, of course, my brother years later on, we really kind of bonded, which were through these experiences we would have playing video games and cooperatively working together. And then sometimes multiplayer against each other. But, my video game experience as a kid and as a teen, I would say was pretty typical. Something that I shared with all of my friends, went to school with. But the way video games really impacted my life was in 2008 when I graduated from undergrad. I had a job coming back to Chicago, and I hated it. I had graduated from Memphis, Tennessee, had this really great experience there, and it was like, now I'm coming home. I was coming home, had this job offer waiting for me from one of the really big accounting firms. And I knew I never really liked accounting. I knew that I didn't really like it. But you know what? Video games changed for me was it changed the way that I thought about my life. I allowed people for my entire life to convince me, you go to school, get a good education, you come out, you get a really great corporate job, and you hold on to that corporate job as long as you possibly can. And that's really the key to life, to being happy and successful in life. And what I came to find out was that if you do something that you don't like, no matter how much they pay you, you will be miserable. I hated that shit. Like, to just put it in the raw, I could not stand my life, even though I was making really high-end five figures. Had all the money that I could had ever imagined before, could buy all the stuff I wanted to, but I dreaded 8.5 to 10 hours of my day every day at work. And what really became the thing to kind of show me that it just wasn't going to work was that my work started to show it. I wasn't very attentive at it. I kind of just wanted to go through the motions because I hated it so much. And what it led me to do was like, yo, bro, think for yourself. Like, when I started to stop letting people's normal conventions of what life meant to them can dictate my life, was when I started taking control of what I wanted to do for myself. And I started just kind of like diving into who I was. What did I like doing? And so I always used to joke and tell people, like, if we ever had to share things at work or professionally, it's like, well, in your spare time, what do you like to do? What do I always used to say, well, I play games. And right then and there, it was like this really natural, organic thing that became an easy way for me to name what it is that I like doing, but also give a professional, an actual title to it, start a business. And so a lot of people that have met me, since 2008, 2009, think that I got a degree in business. And it was like, no, dude, I got a degree, really in C# and programming. So I got this computer science degree, and I mean, like, I love computers, don't get me wrong, but bringing video game entertainment was just who I am. Making fun and making events out of video games was what I love to do. And it took for me to have this really trying experience that made me say, like, yo, this isn't who I am. It's like I sold myself out to please other people instead of learning to think for myself and create an opportunity out of something that I loved. And guess what? It has been a thrill since then. Like, I've met so many people of all walks of life that all share the same type of interest when it comes to video games. I've really learned more about myself and more about my surroundings when it comes to, equality in gaming, equality in technical fields. So learning about the perspective of, all right, so I'm black and I'm into this, but I'm also a black guy that wants to just be more than a consumer. I've also learned it's like, well, in addition to being black, you're also a man. So what is it like for a woman to try to experience some type of, troubles coming into the video game industry and trying to be someone that kind of burns their own trail? And it's made me kind of, make a lot of self-evaluations even along the way. Even though I had my great big epiphany 6 years ago where it was like, well, dude, I want to do something else. It's like every year, every day, meeting new people, experiencing new things in a video game space has made me have another epiphany, another life moment where it's like, dang, that shit is different. Okay, I can kind of see how this person would expect to, and it's made a more well-rounded person. Like, I've learned to look at things through other people's lens. So it's like, did I become better at video games? Yeah, sure. In the short run, that was the experience that I had. But in the long run, I'm becoming a more experienced, a more worldly person through my love and passion for video games. And it's just like, it's icing on the cake that I'm having success as a business and really growing and developing, an entrepreneurial sense of what I like to do. And so if I really would have to say anything video games have made me do is reflect on something that I'm passionate about, taught me how to work hard on something that I'm passionate about, and then be excited to learn new things every day. So it's that type of experience that when people come to me and ask me, it's like, well, what do you do? I kind of proudly and confidently tell them I play games. And really happy that Michael asked me to be a part of this project and asked me to give a video documentary or input on it, because I want and I hope that, somehow my story of something that initially didn't seem really too bright or really too unique has grown into something for me that I really hope can grow into something for other people. I hope it makes them sit down, evaluate themselves, and then say, here's where I can do something where my passion can also become my profession. So I guess just to really keep it brief before I roll on for another 2 hours, I'll be here for days. Thank you, Michael, for having me be a part of this project. Thank you for sitting down and listening to my story. I hope it does something for you. And, I hope that in turn, I once again have something else to realize about myself. If you get a chance, man, come out this weekend, November 7th on the north side of Chicago. We're going to be having a 24-hour game marathon, all towards basically the Extra Life program, which supports your local children's charity, children's hospital, that is. And our local children's hospital is in Robert H. Lurie Children's Hospital in downtown Chicago. This is Kevin Fair from I Play Games signing off. Thanks, everybody.